I won't.
No. Well, mate. Right. It's
And there we are
all good.
live. Good evening,
Here we
gents.
go.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
Good to see you guys. How you all feeling? Back from sunny Spain.
Yep, feeling great. Thank you.
Yeah, amazing. Top of the world.
Good to see
Yeah.
you, Dave. Good to see you, Rich.
Fantastic.
And
Yeah,
first,
you too, Al.
I want to say thank you, Richard, for coming to the retreat and sharing your knowledge every single day. It made it truly special for me, and I hope it did. Well, I've had feedback, not all yet, from the guys. They all loved it. They all loved it. What do you think, guys?
Amazing. It was
Yeah,
great.
it's one of those. It's an unmissable event, really. Yeah, it definitely changes your life. And it's not like any kind of holiday. You can't even say it's a holiday because it's not a holiday. It's more than a holiday. It's you're not drinking in the airport to start with, so that renders it no holiday. But yeah, it's tools for life, really. Tools to better your life, and just implement one, see what happens. Implement another one, see what happens.
How
And
do you
yeah,
feel though now, Dave, of being able to climb up the canyons, to jump off the rocks and land in the water, and then do it again and again and again with no problem? Do you know what I mean? Because we are over half a decade old between me and you. Like, not a decade, half a century.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I've looked back at the pictures and the videos, and 5 years ago, there's no way that I would have done that. There's just, I mean, I would have been fearful, and I just no, that's not me. That's not who I am. But 5 years later, oh, let's get in there. Let's get stuck in. That sense of adventure definitely exists, and no fear. Absolutely not. No. So
Amazing.
yeah.
And Elias, I mean, you being the youngest member again, but when we
Yeah.
was at the retreat, age didn't come into it, did it? Because from the oldest being Yoram at 61 to you being the youngest at 28, everybody still joined in as if we was all sort of 25.
Yeah. Well, everybody put in their best effort, first of all, and it didn't matter because we were all there for the same reason. We want to learn, we want to improve, we want to, like, for me, it's about getting the knowledge I need, the tools I need to be able to, like, have the best type of lifestyle I could have. I want to be healthy. I've always been interested in training. I noticed for the last 2 or 3 years that I was doing it right in the gym, but I wasn't doing it right in the kitchen. And I noticed that all these years I've been working out, I didn't know anything more than lifting weights.
I know, I was the
I think
same at
that
your
I
age.
think that's so common, like these days, people thinking that they're doing it right because they're going to the gym, but there's so much more to it, you know. So I went on these retreats to actually learn more about nutrition. For me, it's simple. I just want to know what I shouldn't eat, what I should stay away from.
Yeah,
You don't have
yeah.
to be that, like, diving deep into it and learning all the scientific things about it. Sometimes you should just learn what not to eat, what to stay away from. That's more my type of, like,
Yeah,
way
and
of looking
everyone's on their different journey and experience of knowledge. Some as you say, you just want to know, just tell me what to eat and what not to eat. Other people want to go really scientific. That generally tends to be us older guys because we do get more concerned with cholesterol, with heart disease. When you're in your 20s, you feel bulletproof anyway. You just want to feel good and look good. But it's amazing that you, as a young man, have took that a step further to find out the knowledge as well. Because believe me, you will be thankful by the time you're 50 to have this knowledge because you're still going to be feeling 30,
I'm
or if not
already feeling
more.
a lot. I'm already feeling the difference. That's the whole thing.
Well, I should have announced you two guys on as the two best transformations that we had because of course you two were returning clients, and
Yeah,
both of you look very different in September
yeah.
when we did the first retreat, and quite a transformation from both of you. So round of applause there for you two. It's
Thank you, bro.
amazing.
Thank you so
So
much, bro.
thank you.
Yeah.
And
Thank
Richard,
you.
what did you think to all the guys and the welcoming that you got, the atmosphere that you got in the retreat? What did you think?
The whole event for me was absolutely incredible. You know, I was you were kind enough to invite me to year one. Unfortunately, I couldn't make that due to my daughter's 10th birthday. I don't think I ever would have lived that down. But look, you know, I stayed outside the villa. Obviously, you know, you were fully booked there. All the spaces went, and rightly so. So you know, it allowed me to sort of step into it and step back out as and when I wanted, and you allowed me to participate as much or as little as I wanted. But you know, arriving there, the location absolutely fantastic, the villa absolutely incredible, swimming pool, an outdoor area, you know, for talks and things. We did some of the talks inside with some slideshows. Everyone was really relaxed. Everybody was super friendly. There were no egos there. It was everybody was there for the same reason. There was none of this like I know it all. I've done it before. Everybody was open to learning, and I think lots of the guests there also brought lots to the event in regards to their life experiences. As you mentioned, you know, Elias and Dave, you know, incredible transformations. I couldn't believe the pictures, you know, when you showed me when I was there. Absolutely incredible in what, like 12 months, you know, and
Yes.
it's
Eight
less.
months.
8, wow. You know, and look, it's for me, there are lots of, I speak at lots of events, you know, and I enjoy speaking these events. They're all fantastic, but I think what this offers, which is different to everything else, is that everybody is welcome. It's super relaxed. It's immersive, so you're not just arriving to an event and being thrown lots of information. I think with this, it was it's a case of I feel ostracized within the community because of, you know, and Al, you probably feel the same. What we do and what we teach quite literally goes against the grain, and it ostracizes you from friends and family. And I think men, as we age, you know, women are under pressure to look a certain way and to act a certain way. And I think many of us believe that the stress is wholly on the woman. But men, as they age, I don't know if you guys can attest to this, but like I feel under stress to look, you know, as best as I can, and to not have a dad bod, and you know, not to look overweight and look like I'm, you know, falling off the edge of the cliff. Men are under lots of pressure, but we don't have, I believe, the ability, and maybe some do, but like we can't put makeup on and put some eyeliner on, and you know, some people do, you know, and that's fine. But it's I think it's, in some respects, it's harder for a man to look better, if that makes sense, because it's so easy to
For
start to slip.
sure. And as you know, this time, guys, we had a beautician there that gave a couple of guys some facials. I even got one. It was nice to actually have an hour to sit down and let the thing do its job while sitting in the sunshine. But we had the sports massage this time that came and did as a physio every single day. And he was fantastic, wasn't he? He really helped a lot of people with my tennis elbow was fixed. Joran said his pain had gone for the first time in 3 years, his hip pain. So that was a great addition. But I mean, the reason I created the retreat, it wasn't just to learn how to look good, because that's always been part of my job and life. It's things like mental health. Like we had guys like Frank, who has been on his own journey of addiction, and we've all been there. And men, I mean, suicide is still the highest killer of men, more than heart disease, of guys at age over 40. I think between 40 and 50, it's the number one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's certainly high. And one of my best friends killed himself after the lockdown, losing his business or certainly losing part of it. And it just really, you realize how alienated we were in that lockdown. And if you don't have the friends network to connect to, which most of us men don't, when you're age over 40, you've got your kids, that all goes away and you just sort of lose your friends. So I wanted to try and bring it back together. Of course, Elias won't be in that position at all. They think, what are you talking about? I've got 100 friends. But Elias has got a very old head on his shoulders. To me and him have become very good friends from this. And I'm older, I'm very close to his own dad's age. But we've become very close because of these retreats now. And just having this friend network, somebody that we can still communicate, and we are on all the same wavelength with our diet and nutrition and now training. I think that's what I wanted to create, and I believe I have, because it was just fantastic for me. It was even better. And as an organizer of an event, you always want to improve. But I felt, shit, it's really hard to improve something that went so well the first time. But it did. So for me, it was even better. So, yeah, I'm certainly planning a third one. That's for sure.
And I think they'll continue to improve, because the more you do this, the stronger the network. And you're right. I think we distance ourselves from people. Life takes over. Mental health has much to do with the food that we eat. And we explained a little bit of this during the retreat, that the neurotransmitters are created from the compounds that we consume. And should we consume the wrong compounds, we block our body's ability to a large capacity to make those neurotransmitters. If we can't make the neurotransmitters, then we start to feel depressed. The glutamate and GABA ratio is thrown out of whack, serotonin and dopamine signaling is thrown out of whack. We start to feel depressed. And I would argue strongly that diet is massively a contributor to mental health. And we've seen studies where people have changed their diet, and we've seen reversal of severe psychosis and mental health problems. You mentioned a couple of names at the retreat. I myself suffered with depression, anxiety, and just changing the diet. And I know, as Elias says, in regards to understanding what not to eat. Once we remove certain compounds, and I think that's probably more beneficial than understanding what to eat, if that makes any sense. Because once we understand what we know what we need to eat in order to heal, repair, and grow, and create protein synthesis and allow the body to do its work. But what compounds are causing the problems? So which compounds do we need to remove? And I think that's an important learning curve.
You're teaching also how to find the foods not to eat, because it's easy to say, don't eat seed oil. But okay, I won't buy any seed oil, but seed oil is in 90% of the food. So just to be able to look for that and see, oh shit, it's in there, it's in a biscuit, it's in a crisp, it's in a bread, it's in everything. And learning, as you say, what to look for on a label. Dr. Georgia Eid, I believe, she's just wrote a book about mental health and how keto can actually cure depression, or certainly reverse it. And so many people that we come across are in that position. So it's absolutely what we are putting in our bodies, which is poisoning the mind, literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, just having a collection of guys for this makes us stronger, not just physically, but mentally.
Totally agree with that, Al. That was, for me, one of the biggest revelations. I think I'd started keto before, because I talked to my cousin Paul, who introduced me to the retreat, by the way. So thanks, cuz. Yeah, I'd actually started it
He's
myself.
watching now. He just texted me. He's watching.
He's all right. Cheers, cousin P. Big shout out to you, mate. But yeah, I'd noticed I used to suffer very badly from hunger, and I had no idea what was fueling that. I didn't know. I didn't have a clue. I just thought it was I get hungry and that's that. But yeah, as I've gone deeper down the rabbit hole, as you put it, Richard, I've found out more and more, and I've removed more and more things, and found I don't even have those symptoms, let's call it them anymore, because it would affect my, well, I would be honest and say mental stability at particular moments in time, and that puts a strain on relationships. Even the kids, remember a time when dad would be freaking out just because I just thought it's just because I'm hungry, and it's not. It's because I was on the glucose roller coaster, and
for sure.
get off it is the advice.
And
it's a bad ride.
I know there's been studies, and for weight loss, they've studied high fat and they've studied high carb, and the weight that they lose for some ends up the same. But, and here's the big but, keto just controls hunger much better. So anyone can starve themselves on a Weight Watchers diet, but you're in a bad mood the whole time. You're hungry the whole time. Even when I do my carb days, because as we know, I do the alpha diet and refeed on carbs. When I eat the carbs, I'm hungry quicker than when I'm doing the keto days. I look forward to my keto days because I can skip a meal on keto if you're busy. I can't skip a meal when I'm doing carbs, and still not. I've got to get it. It's very, very moreish and addictive is carbohydrate, no matter which carb it is. I think you would agree with that, huh?
100%. I was struggling first when I went on the first retreat in September last year. I was eating a lot of carbs, and I had a very stressful lifestyle because I'm an entrepreneur. I was running several businesses, and I thought if I just went to the gym 4 or 5 times a week, lifted some weights for an hour each time, and just went straight back to office doing my job, that everything would be fine. But I would find myself feeling hungry, and I did it for some days. I didn't have any breakfast, and then in my stress, like high cortisol levels, I would just like go to the drive-by McDonald's, eat a burger next, and just like eat everything that I could like just fancy. And I found myself fat and ugly, and I was only 27 at the time. And Alan actually told me I should join, and I came to the retreat. I learned a lot about different types of like diets that's actually not that bad, because I think that's the whole thing. People think that the word diet or keto or carnivore, like it's just like such a bad tone to these terms, but it's actually not. We were there for a whole week now, and also a whole week last time. I loved the food. It was amazing. I could easily eat that for the rest of my life. Honestly.
Nobody was hungry, and guys lost weight, as we talked before we got on about Sonny. He got on the scales at home, and he was 5 kilos lighter than the 2 weeks before when he stepped on the scale. I mean, that's phenomenal, because he wasn't dieting, he wasn't hungry, he was just eating correctly, and 3 meals a day with a keto bar in between to keep him through the gym. And yes, he had to have a little rice cake here and there, but 1 or 2, because he wasn't adapted to keto. So of course we were doing 2 hours, 3 hours training a day, but he managed it, and he got through it, and he was phenomenal, to be fair. So he's a different mindset already. So it was a real credit to see. Of course, this time, guys, we spent more time at the gym at Paddle, which everybody seems to love being there, because the whole place is like a utopia, isn't it? It's like, to me, it's like going in Disneyland. if I was 10 years old. That is Disneyland for me
Yeah.
in that gym, because you turn a corner and then there's another bit, and then there's a CrossFit bit, then there's the High Rocks bit, then there's the UFC, then there's the boxing, and then now there's the jacuzzi and cold plunge. It's like never ending. So it's really the best gym I've ever been into. And
A lot
so,
of different experiences. You get to try different types of things. For example, I was a boxer when I was like younger, around 15. Hadn't been boxing since then.
Yeah.
Came back to that, had a session with this guy Matt that we know
Matt,
from
yeah.
before. Yeah, and that was awesome. I'm going back there now next week. I'm definitely gonna like text the guy and do one more session. I loved it.
yeah,
It was nice.
yeah,
Just like to get that flexibility, move your body, just sweat. It's such a nice environment, but also a very fair point to make that these retreats actually create is that there's a lot of entrepreneurs and like there's a lot of people on these retreats that got like there's smart people in different type of businesses. So what happened to me when I came back to Sweden is that I'm so motivated. I have this like refueled energy that I just want to like get shit done, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
That feeling I remember from last time as well. So you get a lot of that as well from these retreats.
you become the 5 people that you hang around closest with. And now you said to me, Dave, it's time now. You want to get your own business. You want to be an entrepreneur, and hanging around people like Elias. We've got Sanjay there. We've got Sonny there. We've got Alex there. Super successful, and it just makes you think,
I can do that.
if he can do that, I can do that. Because that's the attitude that everybody had. They're all so willing to help, sharing their phone numbers. Nobody felt in a hierarchy there, I believe. It was really equal.
Totally
Of
agree.
course,
Yeah.
you shared a room with Alex, somebody you didn't know. You became best friends, and in such a short time. So,
Definitely friends for life.
Yeah. But it also brings up, I just want to highlight, Al, it opens your mind, and then it opens up avenues inside your own mind, because I mean, since I started the new year, I went to every single class that the gym had to offer just to see what it was like. And I wouldn't have done that before. I didn't want to hang out, with other people. I think COVID did really have an effect on me in a lot of ways in terms of socializing. But the first retreat really helped to change that and get me out of those habits. And then the new year, I just started trying new things. And then obviously I've just come back, and I went to yin yoga last Friday. Oh man, it was phenomenal, really. This is it. And now I'm open to, like, let's try anything and really see what it does for you on a human level. And I think that's it. The mind is truly open now to engage in experience and really feel, what does this do for me as a man, as a 50-year-old man? What I'm open to engage with the world around me a lot more. So, and I think that's definitely from the retreat. Yeah.
Perfect. I mean, when you see what the human body can do on
certain people, and you look at them in awe, and you realize that you can actually learn and be the best that you can be, because it's so many amazing things. I started doing yoga. Now I can teach yoga. I'm qualified to do that. And I never even knew what the word yoga was when I was Elias's age. I just knew what dumbbells were. And that's the same for Dorian. I mean, I've done yoga with Dorian on his front garden. Every Sunday we was doing that. And he's very good at it, but he wasn't when he was bodybuilding. And, he got injured, and he puts that down to having lack of mobility, because when you're so heavily muscled, you can't lift your shoulders up. But, with the yoga, with the mobility, I think it's a whole collection. The human body is so amazing, and it will adapt to whichever sport you try to do. Like Richard has gone from bodybuilding to being an endurance runner. I mean, that is something, to me, that's harder than doing yoga. I mean, I can't run for anything at the moment. But if I chose to, I would become a runner. You know, it's simple as that. We can do anything we want, and that's the mindset I try to teach, that we really can do whatever we choose to do. So well done, Dave, for the yin yoga. You can be teaching that next time on the retreat.
My pleasure. I've already asked my other yoga. I know I've got to go to so many yoga classes. If I can have the script for it, because there's another one that I'm doing, and it's so good. It's got such a lovely flow to it. So yeah, it would be my pleasure to hold a yoga class on the beach. Yeah.
Exactly.
One more point I wanted to make, though, to just to say to Richard as well, to being open to things. I came back and I immediately went into what's the difference between mTOR and AMPK, and I already went through ChatGPT and I figured it out, and I totally get these different pathways, and I wanted to understand what exercise I should do in one day and not do in another. So being totally open to this stuff and learning even just a little bit, and you write it down and you take it away, it teaches you about how your body works on the inside. And now I know on which days I should do which exercise, because I don't want to be interfering with the different pathways. And I've already passed that around my network to a few of my friends. So already this information just spreads out. It's so cool. So thanks for that, Richard. It's yeah, I love that stuff.
Anytime. And again, look, I can't thank Al enough for the invitation. It was an absolute pleasure to come across and meet you guys and exchange stories and chat. And I think it's life changing. As you say, it's Al. You're planning another. What's the latest with that? How far along are you in regards to planning, and what is the plan?
Well, there's two options currently. Of course, the villa that we've had now twice is available, I think, the first week in October, which is still beautiful weather out in sunny Marbella. I mean, it's now beautiful there up until March. I think March is the month to avoid, I'm told, which is annoying because that's my birthday month. But there's also another villa that Arthur has found, which is literally 3 times the size. So we could be expanding. We will see. It's still early days, but there will be another. But watch this space. Please, if you're interested, send me inquiries or drop them to Richard, saying that you would like to register your interest to come, because the more interest we get, the more I can plan the next one. But I do want to get another one in this year.
Awesome. Absolutely fantastic. Gents, it's been an absolute pleasure. I need to wrap up because I'm live again now on YouTube again in 2 minutes. And then I'm live in the school group for another 30 minutes. So it's non-stop live Q&As. You guys are welcome to jump on the live if you want to chuck any questions in. But gents, look, we'll have to do this again. I think maybe we'll jump on another call next week just to keep spreading the good word. But look, absolute pleasure. Thank you all for coming
again,
on.
Guys. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks,
so much.
Elias.
Thank you so
No
much,
worries.
guys.
Cheers, guys. Take it easy.
Cheers,
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.